Hey everyone, today is Saturday, the 18th of August. Today I'm planning on playing some Star Trek because yesterday I gave the Iowa yet another refit. Originally, the way I had her was she had the entire. Um, she was a mishmash of parts from all of the different types of sovereigns, if you will. She had the nacelle pylons of the Sovereign. She had the hull of the Imperial class, the saucer section of the Imperial class, which made her look really durable. She had the neck of, I want to say, the Majestic and the nacelles of the Noble, though I might have flipped those. And then they came out with the Regent on Thursday. And so I switched her to all Regent except the pylons were from the Sovereign. And then I used hull type 4, which gave a steel gray kind of appearance to it. And then I put the Virgo paint scheme on the whole ship in black. And I really enjoyed that appearance. But yesterday I was messing around in the ship appearance thing. And I also really like, if I went with the whole Regent appearance, you get access to the Type 6 hull, which turns the ship white. And then I put the whole Orion paint scheme on it in black. And it looks just absolutely stunning. So for those of you that follow me on Facebook or what have you, you can actually see it. It's my cover photo. It's my profile picture, what have you. For the rest of you who don't follow me on Facebook, sorry. But in order to see what my ship looks like now, you can easily go to the Star Trek Online website and look up go to the screenshots, and two of the three most recent screenshots are of the Regent in its white hull. And you don't really need to see the paint scheme, but it is a magnificent looking ship. The difference between the pylons of the Sovereign and the pylons of the Regent are the Regent's pylons kind of curve a bit, so it pulls the nacelles a little bit farther out than the Sovereign's pylons do. Pulls them out a little bit and brings them up a little bit. That's about it. The ship is essentially a little fatter in the back end, as it were. The Sovereigns, they're farther back and they're tighter in. And there's no curvature going on there, really. It's just, straight up pretty much. And I really like sticking with essentially the Iowa doctrine. You have a long, narrow ship, and so the reason I went with the original design that I did have was I wanted to make the ship as long as possible, as well as also as skinny as possible at the same time. And the longest saucer was the Imperial, the longest hull was the Imperial, the longest nacelles were the ones I said before, the pylons of the Sovereign allowed the ship to be the longest. It put the nacelles farther back on the hull, and it kept them closer together, so it gave that really slender approach to it. Because, the Iowa doctrine essentially was we need a ship that's really powerful, but also small enough to fit through the Panama Canal, which it has done quite nicely. So, with the new vessel, I do like it. It is extremely narrow. I'm thinking, instead of taking the literal, horizontal width approach to being narrow, the fact of the matter is that the Regent class is exceptionally flat. And I think it's beautiful. It is a blade in space. It is quite amazing. And with the Sovereign pylons, it makes it even flatter, but I kind of like having the white hull. You have this ship out there that paints itself white that says, "Hey everybody, here I am. What you gonna do about it?" The Regent combined with the Type 6 hull plating and the new paint job and everything, I don't necessarily know if I'm going to stick with it, but I do like it. I like it a lot, and it's a really hard choice between the steel gray Regent with the Sovereign pylons and the white all Regent. I am a bigger fan now of the Orion paint job than I have been of the Virgo paint job. The Virgo paint job gives like these chevrons on the ship, and I liked it for a while. It gave stripes, chevrons, kind of things on the nacelles on the Iowa before Thursday, before the refit, and that's all well and good. And I think it's a beautiful design for that, the Imperial class. But the issue here is that it's not as detailed on the Regent, but the Orion paint job is detailed on the Regent, and it puts a lot of paint on that hull. So I really do enjoy the Orion paint job. I think it's an improvement over having the Virgo on the Regent. But again, I'm still stuck. I could waffle back and forth between designs, Sovereign pylons, Regent pylons, Type 4 hull, Type 6 hull. You can't have the Type 6 hull with one part being not Regent, though. You have to have all Regent to have the Type 6. Other than that, I think it's a beautiful ship. I find that dropping one use of Engineering Team 3 was not a detriment. I did, however, I think I mentioned this yesterday, I did, however, change out a couple of engineering skills. I dropped Emergency Power to the Engines 1 for Emergency Power to the Shields 1. I dropped Emergency Power to the Shields 2 for Auxiliary Power to the Structural Integrity Field 1. Whereas it's a really crappy heal, it provides a 10-second boost to my damage resistance, and it is not an insignificant boost, and it can be used every 15 seconds. So a 10-second buff with a 15-second cooldown, yes please, sign me up. I'm hitting that thing all the friggin' time. And the nominal hull heal just comes in handy. The plus side of having two abilities, I have Polarized Hull on my ship as well, two abilities that give me extra damage resistance, is that for a period of time, for about 10 seconds total, obviously it's determined by the shorter buff, Polarized Hull's effect lasts 15 seconds, and I think the whole ability takes like 30 seconds to cool down. And then Auxiliary to the Sif it lasts 10 seconds and takes 15 seconds to cool down. If I have them on at the same time, I have a 48.9% damage resist to most effects. The only thing I don't have the damage resist for is the anti-proton damage, and that's because I haven't run into that many enemies that use anti-protons yet. The Undine use anti-protons, and my buddy used to use anti-protons, but he doesn't anymore, so... but yeah, I like resisting that much damage. Also, a side effect of not having a second engineering team is that I'm using Miracle Worker a lot more often, which I guess is as it should be. But with a 4-minute cooldown, it's kind of rough. 5 minutes, something like that. But yeah, the conundrum of designing a ship in Star Trek Online. I would like the developers to release a web-based ship designer so that you can customize your ship outside of the game and share it with people, like on Facebook and Twitter and what have you, because I think that would be an amazing campaign there. Come to Star Trek Online, design your ship, and then go into the game and work for it. That sort of thing. I think that would be really cool. Where did I put the... Oh, there it is. So anyways, until next time.